So what is the Triratna Buddhist movement and what is distinctive about it? Well, one way of answering that question is looking at the 6 distinct emphases of our movement. So these aren't the only features of Triratna. Triratna has a great deal in common with the rest of the Buddhist world. We share study, we practice the Four Noble Truths and the Noble Eightfold Path. There's a host of teachings, in fact, that we share with the rest of the Buddhist world. We share a preoccupation with ethics, and we share various meditation practices. But we do have these 6 distinct emphases. So the first of these is that we are an ecumenical movement. So Triratna does not exclusively identify itself with any one Eastern Buddhist tradition. We aren't Theravada, we aren't Mahayana, we aren't Tibetan, we're not Tantric or Zen. We say simply that we're Buddhist. Therefore, we feel free to draw on the enormous wealth of the entire Buddhist tradition. So we study the Pali scriptures, the great Mahayana sutras, Zen, Tantra, and so on. We draw from those ideas, principles, and practices which help us to develop as Buddhists within the context that we find ourselves, which for many of us in Triratna is in the West. Secondly, the centrality of going for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma and the Sangha. So the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha are known as the 3 jewels of Buddhism. Going for refuge is something that all Buddhist movements share. It is fundamental, it is common, and hence it was decided to make it central to Triratna. Going for refuge is said to be primary and lifestyle is secondary. So what's most important is what's in your heart. And of course it's very difficult to know what is in somebody else's heart. So you don't have to be a monk to be a real Buddhist. In our movement, we say the order members are neither monk nor lay. Personally, I'm married, I've got 2 kids, 4 grandkids, 2 dogs and a cat. I work in IT, teach at the centre, lead retreats and go on retreats. Thirdly, we are a unified Buddhist order. So this means that the order is open to all individuals on equal terms, irrespective of their sex or their gender. It's also open on equal terms, irrespective of cultural, racial, or social background, or sexual orientation. However, it doesn't mean that we all blend together. Men can be men, women can be women, and so on. We're not unisex. Fourthly, we have the importance of work. Triratna offers a balanced approach to the spiritual life, balancing meditation on the one hand with energy and activity on the other. Energy in pursuit of the good has been regarded for some time as an important quality for aspiring Buddhists. The movement itself, of course, has been built on the work of thousands of individuals ever since its inception. And additionally, right livelihood is an important aspect of the Buddha's Noble Eightfold Path. And in Triratna, we have advocated team-based right livelihood. It's important for us to have team-based right livelihood economic institutions within the movement. It's a matter of self-respect that the movement can be self-supporting. After all, he who pays the piper calls the tune. But these institutions are based on 4 features. So firstly, they must be ethical. Mustn't cut corners ethically in order to make money. They should give those who are working within them sufficient support for a reasonable standard of living. And they should provide a framework for spiritual practice, especially friendship. And they should make a profit. In order to support the movement, of course, the institutions do need to make a profit. And there's no virtue in not making money. So these economic institutions have contributed significantly to the movement over the years. But also they have provided a place where individuals can work together as they practice Buddhism, as a part of their practice. Fifth then, we have emphasis on the spiritual value of the arts. So this is an important means of inspiration for our practice. So we can expand our experience and develop our imagination through the arts. Our own creativity can be uplifting and inspiring, can help us to learn more about ourselves. So for example, painting or creative writing. And then there's myth and archetype. It's important to develop an appreciation of Buddhism outside of the intellect, beyond the intellect. And myth and archetype can help us to do that, thereby bringing our whole being along on the journey. And finally, number 6, the importance of friendship, especially spiritual friendship. So I previously mentioned the 3 jewels of Buddhism: the Buddha, the idea of the enlightened being; the Dharma, the teaching that leads towards the enlightenment; and the Sangha, the spiritual community. And there's no Sangha without friendship, and of course there would be no Buddhism with one jewel missing. Spiritual friendship is the bedrock of the Sangha. So there is a story about the Buddha when he was talking to his attendant, Ananda, one day. And Ananda said to the Buddha, Lord, I think spiritual friendship is so important. It must be half of the spiritual life. And the Buddha said to Ananda, say not so, Ananda, say not so. It is the whole of the Buddhist life. So to summarise then, we do share a great deal with the other Buddhist movements and traditions. But we have 6 distinct emphases in Triratna. We are ecumenical, the centrality of going for refuge, a unified order, the importance of work, the emphasis on the arts, and the importance of spiritual friendship.